all stopped that we ended up at a hospital?
It was just very normal. I mean, my wife has had quite a very easy pregnancy, and we were prepared to welcome the baby on the 25th of February. It wasn't easy at some point because she was juggling between school, work, and being a mother of a very energetic young boy. On the 15th was just another normal day, and it was okay because I left home in the morning, went to work, I came back in the evening. That night was the night that was to start worrying me, because when I went back home, unlike her, she was so tired. She was so tired, and she was just seated in the chair. And I was like, "You aren't looking very good today. What's up?" Like, I'm just tired. So at night, she didn't come with me to bed immediately. She stayed a little bit longer in the sitting room. But when she came in, she didn't fall asleep. So she kept on in and out of bed, in and out of bed. And I asked her, "What's the problem?" Then for once, she kind of raised her voice. And she told me, "You're going to have a very tough day tomorrow. Why don't you just sleep?" Then hardly I tried, but finally I fell asleep. Then I woke up at 5:30. She kind of insisted in preparing my breakfast again, and I told her, "You don't have to do that." But she again made my breakfast when I was in the shower. So when I came out, I found the breakfast was ready, and I took it. I just took 1 cup of tea because I was a little bit annoyed. Why are you stressing yourself to this extent? And then I went to work. So around 11, I tried calling her, but unfortunately she didn't pick up. But I didn't call again later, so my day was a little bit hectic. I saw my sister trying to call me, which I didn't pick up. Then after around 2-3 minutes, my wife was calling, and I excused myself. I told my client, "No, this one I must pick." So he told me, "Please go ahead." And so I picked the phone, and on the line wasn't my wife, but my sister, who was talking to me in more or less like a shaky voice, like, "Mama Harun is very sick, and you need to come home and take her to the hospital." So I just called one of my neighbors. I told her, "Please go down into my house. My wife is not feeling well. Let's meet at Nairobi Hospital." By the time she got to Nairobi Hospital, I'd been told that she had kind of vomited 4 or 5 times. And what I saw was a little bit scary because she was shaking all over. She wasn't talking. Her body was literally hot. Then Wanyoike came in, Dr. Wanyoike, the gyna, who upon observation just said, "We have to go into theater." What scared me was the fact that, he said, "We must at least try to save a life." At that particular point, I was asking, "What's the problem?" I was like, "No, the pressure is so much high. And right now, if we delay, she's either going to lose the baby or she's going to die. But we must try at least to save one." We went into the theater. The baby came out at 8:30 at night. And Dr. Mpata, who was taking care of the baby, said the baby is okay. The baby is okay, we shouldn't worry. And the mother will be okay. So straight back into ICU. So very early in the morning, I woke up at around 6, drove to Aga Khan, where I was told, she's not responded as was expected. So what has to be done is they have to do a CT scan, and they have to do some tests in the kidney. So the kidney tests were okay, but the scan confirmed that there was a blood clot. Now the blood clot, personally I just thought, it's just something that can be cleared. So the mention of a neurosurgeon kind of scared me. So they went into theater at around 1. Then until around 4, that is when they were coming out. So the following day, my wife was reacting very okay, as in we could see she was trying to move, we could see she was trying to, try to lift up her hand. And after some time, we were told that, you know what, we have to put in a feeding pipe, and we have to do tracheostomy, because now she's not breathing very well. And I was told, no, she was shaking a lot and her heartbeat was so much. And so we had to put her in isolation. And I said, isolation, what does that mean? You know what, she's developed an infection. What is the infection? It's called a Acinetobacter. And I'm like, what the hell is that? It's like some infection that comes into the brain after an operation, that it is normal, it is expected, but we're going to deal with it. Yeah. I'll say, okay. So they were dealing with it. After some point, I was told that, you know what, this Acinetobacter thing has not cleared, and that it has caused a lot of pressure again. We have to go back to the theater. So the 8th one is the one that made me mad. I mean, it drove me crazy, because it was done, the 8th one was done, and then on a Thursday, then on Friday, she was doing well. On Friday, she was doing well. On a Saturday, she had taken a dip, and I was being asked to sign another consent that my wife was going back to theater for the same operation. At that particular moment, I think I broke down. I didn't know how it happened. I lost track. But then things took a different route. On the 3rd of May, I went in and she overslept, I'll say that. You know, she wasn't opening up her eyes. So I was like, ask the nurses, what's happening? Today she's not even opening up her eyes. Yeah. The last word I had from my wife, the last 4 months and 10 days, was the last word she told me at night when I was asking her, what's up? When she told me, why are you so worried? This is what the doctor explained to us. My firstborn is very energetic. He's just turning 3 in August. He's so energetic. And Henry coming home just humbled me, because now I had to be the mother and the father.
What are the doctors telling you? Are they giving you hope? At the same time, do you yourself have hope that you one time see your wife as normal as she has been, despite these operations?
Personally, I haven't lost hope. That is the last thing I'll do. I mean, for a strong woman like my wife, the best that I can do for her is just to have hope that she's going to be fine. My wife and I, we still have the privilege of having our parents. And I think Harun and Henry must just have their parents, because they're still too young. If I have my parents right now, I think it would be so unfair for my babies not to have their mother right now. So I'm sure my wife is going to come back home. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thanks.